All right, last week it was big talk that Stop100.ca wanted to up the speed limit from 100K to 130. Joining me right now is Ian Tootle. Am I pronouncing your name right, Ian? Ian Tootle?
Yeah, no, that's right.
Toot toot, like a horn? Ian Tootle works with Stop100.ca. He's also got his own group called SENSEBC, which is out in British Columbia, of course. I don't know how much traction you're going to get with this. I'm sure a lot of the public is on side. A lot of people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and some 50s are obviously all for up in the speed limit, correct?
You know, Mike, you just get on the roads. I mean, everybody's voting with their right foot.
Right.
It has, this has nothing to do with age. It has to do with the amount of time you spend on the road and how seriously you take your driving and how much attention you pay to what's going on.
I often find that the most aware people are the ones who are 10, 20 above. I'm sorry, I do. I think the unaware people are the ones who are going 20 under.
It's sometimes the case. There's sometimes the ones that are going slower are quite noticeable in their lack of attention. Yeah.
Now, how much? I know you've had a lot of people sign on. I know you get a lot of hits. How much traction do you think you're going to have with the provincial and the federal government on this, if any?
Well, there is a direct correlation with the amount of time that they spend ticketing and the amount of traction you get.
Right.
We got a lot of traction on this, Mike, back in the 90s when the British Columbia government announced photo radar.
Right.
And, so then you get traction. And right now, there's sort of this period of ticketing détente that's been going on in British Columbia anyway, and I imagine in Ontario it's probably the same.
Oh, yes.
So, people, they cruise along, and as long as they're able to do 120, 130 without getting a ticket, they think everything's fine. But then when the tickets happen, then they start to get annoyed. So,
right.
You're right.
But the problem's going to be, and they're never going to admit to this, but, I mean, speeding is often a cash grab, especially on the part of municipalities. I see, for instance, I'll give you, you're not from here, I know, but just before you hit the exhibition on Lakeshore, when you're heading into town, they park beside this water treatment building, and they're just looking for you to do 10 over, And the only reason you're on there to begin with is because the gardener is backed right up. They know that. They park over there, and they go, we're just going to nab a million guys who are doing 10K over, some slob trying to get to work. And you are not a danger. You are on the lakeshore. It's one of the rare occasions when the lakeshore moves. You are on the lakeshore. It's a 4-lane road. And, I often think the speed limit is too low there anyway.
Yeah. Well, as much as I would like to agree with you, it's not quite that simple. I mean, the cop parked on the side of the road is not doing it because he's doing it to make the municipality money. He's doing it because it's easy.
And he's also doing it because he's got a quota, and they're never going to admit to it, but they have quotas.
They've been known to have quotas.
Yes.
But, you're right, though. In British Columbia, the BC government created a real conflict of interest. They agreed to give back a certain percentage of ticket fine revenue to municipalities, and that has created a direct conflict.
Now, how much pushback are you getting from the insurance companies? Because they're going to hate this.
Well, the insurance companies in the U.S. have been one of the main problems. They, after the energy crisis in the 1970s kind of diminished.
Right.
And the need for the so-called 55-mile-an-hour mandate started to go away. They realized that a cash cow was going to disappear, so they lobbied Congress for years to stop any removal of the mandated 55-mile-an-hour limit.
Right, because that was brought in under Jimmy Carter.
Right. And by the way, we've copied that. Canada generally copies what they do in the U.S., Mm-hmm. And so, it took quite a long time to get peer-reviewed research that proved that, higher speeds didn't necessarily mean more carnage, and that higher speed limits didn't necessarily mean that speeds would creep up.
Listen, I'm not saying do it on the Gardiner, but I am saying do it on a toll highway like the 407, which we have out here.
Right.
Do it on the 407.
Why build these expensive roads if we're not going to use them?
And, if I can do 130 on that highway, Ian, I'm going to pay a premium to drive on it.
Well, that's what they're finding in the U.S. The Texas highways are pay highways in some cases that are now at 136 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
And that's where people are gravitating towards.
Now, Ian, you know who will lobby for this and who would give you tons of money to make this happen? Do you know?
No, go ahead.
The gas companies. They are going to love this.
Mike, you're playing right into the hands of people that say that the reason that we shouldn't raise the limits is because we're going to increase the
consumption.
Carbon.
But I'm telling you right now that the gas companies will get behind this. They'll give you checks under an assumed name, but they would get behind this. They would love this.
Well, we're not supported by anybody.
Yeah, I know.
It's strictly a citizens advocacy group. It's the way it's worked here in BC. We're getting a little bit of traction.
Yeah.
And we'll get a lot of traction when they decide to become aggressive.
Yeah, good point. Now, Stop100.ca is the website. Ian, what is your website out in BC?
Thank you for asking, Mike. SENSEBC.org.
SENSEBC.org. All right, my friend, thank you very much for calling in. I wanted to get you last week, and I'm sorry we had to put you off.
Thanks so much.
All right, Ian Tootle. I like it. The gas companies are going to love it. When we get back, new President's Choice products you can expect to see on your shelves now that Loblaws has bought Shoppers Drug Mart. You're going to love these.